I just want to welcome all of you for being here today and for being willing to speak your experiences and tell us about your journeys. And I guess we will begin. Medina, can you please share with us your full name?
First of all, thank you for having us here. My full given name is Medina Ghazi.
My full name is Jessica Pineda Cortez.
My full name is Gift Ajere.
Thank you for the opportunity to stay here. My full name is Gerardo Ariel Medara Mexicanos.
In addition to what my colleague said, thank you for having us being here. And my full name is Mustafa Hami.
Welcome to all of you. So I'd like to start with our very first question, which is, tell us why you left your country and can you share your journey with us? How about we start with Mustafa?
So the reason I left my country is because of a civil war. I'm from Syria. In 2011, a civil war started in there, so we had to leave the country so we don't get killed or be in a safe area. So we had to leave to Jordan. And yeah, that's why I left my country, because of the civil war, basically.
Ok, la causa por la cual yo salí de mi país fueron por tres razones. Una, porque la situación en mi país era bastante crítica, con la situación de las pandillas y todos los crímenes. Para mí se me dificultaba más las oportunidades para poder estudiar o hacer algún trabajo que yo quisiera. Y entonces la segunda razón por la cual yo me vine para acá era porque acá estaba mi hermana y mi mamá. Y entonces yo necesitaba sentir el apoyo de ellas. Y la tercera razón por la cual yo me vine para los Estados Unidos fue porque yo quería tener más oportunidades de, ya sea de estudiar, de trabajar o de aprender nuevas cosas. Entonces yo por esas tres razones fue las cuales que me vine para acá a los Estados Unidos, para en busca de unas mejores oportunidades.
Gracias.
One of the reasons why I left my country was because I was getting adopted, and my biological mother at the age of 4 died of diabetes, and I had to move from one house to another house. And when I moved, the other person died of heart attack, and I also have to come here, and so yeah.
La razón por la que me vine a Estados Unidos fue porque mi mamá estaba acá. Tenía 5 años de no verla. Yo tenía 11 años cuando me vine para este país. No se podía salir adelante por las ocasiones allá, las pandillas, no había oportunidad de salir adelante. Uno estudiaba y las pandillas no lo permitían, lo molestaban mucho y pues mi mamá un día decidió traerme para este país. Yo no quería venir acá porque no estaba en mis planes, pero me vine por estar con ella porque sabía que acá estaba con un mejor futuro y pues las cosas van dando bien. Sé que es un poco difícil este país porque es un poco difícil, pero creo que si todos le echamos ganas y ponemos un granito de nuestra parte, podemos salir adelante.
I am from Afghanistan, so I came here by the process of SIV. My dad was working with the U.S. government, and we were receiving threatened because there was no safety because the terrorist group was there was no safety for us, so we applied to the SIV program and we came here eventually. And there was other reasons as well because of lack of education for female and lack of education of jobs. So there were more other reasons, but the first priority for us to be here is our safety and our family's safety.
Thank you for sharing that. Can any one of you tell us a little bit more about your journey and what you experienced through your journey, if you feel comfortable sharing that? Anyone?
So I can share my journey. In 2011, as I've said, we left, or 2010, we left Syria because my dad had work in another country, which is Jordan. And we were planning to go back to my country, right? But as I've mentioned, Syria, a civil war started in Syria, so we couldn't go back to Syria. So we had to stay in Jordan, and also in Jordan there were a lot more safety than my country at the time. And in Jordan, I experienced I've like experienced good people and bad people. And with bad people, I mean like students in my schools where they bully Syrians because they're immigrants. Also, the government had some strict rules for Syrian immigrants because they are immigrants, right? So there were like some strict rules on them. And then in 2016, we came to the U.S. and the U.S. was like a welcoming country, right? At the beginning, there was some challenges, but like at the end, there was like the welcome, like you're in here, you're in a safe area. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing your journey, Mustafa. Geraldo, ¿quisieras decir algo o no?
No, está bien.
Está bien. Gift? No. Si quieres, si te sientes cómoda, compartir.
Para mí el viaje era muy duro porque era una niña, 11 años, y venía sola. Allá en El Salvador a ellos le llaman coyotes. Mi mamá pagó un coyote para que me trajera acá a este país. Para mí era duro porque venía solo yo de mujer. Venían 14 hombres conmigo y solo yo de niña. Tenía miedo, honestamente yo tenía miedo por lo que iba a pasar en el camino. No dormía, yo me quedaba despierta, yo no dormía toda la noche pensando cuándo iba a ser el día en que yo iba a llegar. Pasé como 15 días que estuvimos viajando hasta que el coyote me dijo que me iban a entregar a migración. Ese día estaba feliz, yo dije voy a ver a mi mamá, por fin, pero no fue así. Me tuvieron 2 días en la hielera, que le llaman. Después a los 2 días me dijeron, te vas, pero no era que me iba a casa de mi mamá ni nada de eso, sino que me mandaron para una casa hogar. En esa casa hogar estuve 27 días. Habían niños ahí que ya tenían 8, 6 meses de estar ahí porque sus padres no finalizaban el papeleo. Bueno, estuve 27 días ahí, yo esperaba el momento para poder ver a mi mamá y salir de ahí, aunque te tratan muy bien. En la casa hogar te ponen a estudiar, te ponen las vacunas, te tratan súper bien, pero fue una experiencia muy difícil de olvidar porque con tan solo 11 años tuve que sobrepasar todo eso yo sola y solo le pedí a Dios que me diera fuerzas para ser fuerte.
¿Y cuánto tiempo te tomó cruzar con los coyotes?
Como 15 días, pero hubieron días muy difíciles porque ellos dijeron que era un viaje especial, que era solo en buses y eso fue algo que lo dicen por decirlo, porque no fue así. Estuvimos 2 noches caminando en unas montañas y pasaban culebras, cosas así, entonces pues yo le digo a mi mamá, eso fue mentira, te robaron el dinero, porque a mí sí me subieron en buses, sí, pero caminamos 2 días en montaña y fue duro porque yo tenía 11 años y solo yo de niña me sentía mala y yo quería regresarme. En Guatemala ellos dijeron, ¿quién se quiere regresar a su país? De aquí para allá ya no pueden decir que no. Yo levanté la mano y él dijo, ya no puedes, tu mamá habló conmigo. Tu mamá me dijo que tú ibas a decir que te querías regresar, pero no puedes. Ella habló conmigo, hizo trato conmigo. Entonces no podía dar vuelta atrás, la verdad.
Gracias por compartir.
At first, it was really hard for us when we came here because it was a different, new environment and the culture was different. And in Afghanistan, Islam, the religion, is like mostly followed. And when we came here, everything was really different. But now we are adopted to the culture, to the new environment, and it was really difficult at first because we didn't know the language, and there was not a lot of resources available for us. And my dad didn't had a job, but thanks to the government, to the U.S. government, they supported us financially, giving us food stamps and provided us with other resources. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. So let's go with Mustafa. We'll start again at the end. If you can just share with us, what was it like acclimating to your new environment? What made it feel supportive? And what made it challenging?
So acclimating to this environment, the U.S. environment, right? wasn't that hard because as I came to the US in 2016, in the area where I lived, there were Arabs, right? So there was a support from them in the language because as soon as I came here, I didn't know the language. It didn't take me too long to learn it, but at the beginning, I couldn't speak the full language to communicate with others. And also, my school had a lot of support to immigrants, right? In my elementary school, Gladys Noon Spillman, they supported us a lot, me and my family, and helped us like with food and such as things, right? Also, some of the challenges I encountered in here, as I said, is the language, and others are in like the second year of me being in the U.S., which I was in middle school, is the faith I had in me. I lost some of the faith I had because I'm in a new country. I'm like in a place that religion is not really important. It's not like one of the priorities, right? So I had to keep my religion, and it wasn't that easy. It's just like holding an emperor in your hand. That's how it was in here for me, right? At a certain point, I lost faith, but then, which was more challenging, is me getting my faith back when I understood that no, whatever happens, I still have to follow my religion wherever I am, right? So I had to get my faith back, which was a lot harder. And at the end, thankfully, and thank to God, I did get my faith back and like had the faith that I never had before and learned a lot. So this was the most important challenge I've encountered in the U.S.
And Mustafa, do you mind if I ask you, and I'm sorry if I didn't catch that, did you come alone or did you come with your family?
No, I did come with my family. It's with the immigration system. I forgot what were they called. I think USCIS, yes, mostly. We came here with them, yeah. So it was me and my whole family.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Geraldo, ¿cómo fue adaptarte a tu nuevo entorno? ¿Qué te hizo sentir apoyado? ¿Y qué se te hizo difícil?
Pues para ser sincero, adaptarme a esta nueva realidad sí fue un poco difícil, sobre todo por lo del lenguaje, por sobre cómo era el estilo de vida acá, sobre que no podía salir a las calles yo solo tampoco porque no conocía, entonces fácil me perdía con mi país. Y entonces sí fue un poco difícil adaptarme, pero eso nada más duró como aproximadamente 2 meses. Fue también por lo que me hacía falta estar en mi país, sentir el apoyo de mis abuelos también y de mi papá, que él está ahí en mi país. Y entonces yo tenía algo en mente que justo antes de salir, un día antes de salir de mi país, mi tío me dijo algo, un tío por parte de mamá, me dijo, si te vas a ir, no te vayas preocupado de nada, porque ese viaje va a ser algo único. Al contrario, disfrutarlo, vas a sentir lo que va a ser un viaje como que vas de vacaciones. Y así fue, yo todo el viaje, cuando estaba en Guatemala, en México, cuando estuve en Texas, yo siempre intenté y pude adaptarme porque yo siempre tuve eso en mente, solamente es un viaje en la vida, voy a disfrutarlo, voy a disfrutar cada momento porque cada experiencia es única. Y entonces creo que sí, para ser sincero, no fue tan difícil adaptarme acá, solo únicamente sí, lo de el idioma inglés ha sido lo que un poco más me ha costado, pero ya de ahí lo demás siempre me he sentido tranquilo, siempre agradecido con todo lo que he recibido, con todo lo bueno y lo malo, porque todo es perfecto simplemente para mi crecimiento y para mi aprendizaje.
Gracias, Geraldo.
Coming here wasn't really easy because it's like when I came in, I never knew the idea of how America would be like because they never gave me an idea on how it would be, how the culture and everything was. But I had the support of my mother, and because it's like every time I went to school, because I come from Nigeria and the way we do things in our school there is different than how they do things here. And every time I would go to school, I would be made fun of on how I walked, talked, and looked. So that was one of the challenging things about coming here. And then the food was something else because I always rejected food from here because it's like, this is not something that I'm used to. But after a while, I got I don't know which word to use, but it just got comfortable with it. So.
Thank you.
Pues para mí fue muy difícil poder adaptarme en este país. La razón fue porque en mi país, en El Salvador, yo estaba acostumbrada a estar con mis abuelos y con mis tíos. Vivíamos juntos en la misma casa, convivíamos juntos, mi abuela nos trataba a todos por igual, nos miraba a todos de la misma manera. Cuando vine a este país fue difícil porque mi mamá trabajaba de 9 a 9. Ella se iba y me dejaba a mí en la casa. Nosotros vivíamos en un basement. Ella tenía que ir a trabajar y mientras yo me quedaba en la casa porque en ese tiempo ya estaban de vacaciones. Cuando yo vine no podía ir a la escuela porque ya estaban de vacaciones. Entonces yo me tenía que quedar en la casa y esperar hasta que ella llegara. No podía salir, tenía que estar encerrada todo el tiempo porque no conocía. Entonces yo lloraba, yo me frustraba, yo decía, ¿para qué me vine para acá si iba a estar encerrada? Lo que yo deseaba es tal vez que mi mamá pudiera cambiar su horario, decía yo, y darme más tiempo, porque ella trabajaba todos los días, solo descansaba un día a la semana. Entonces era difícil porque no tenía con quién hablar, no conocía a nadie, no tenemos casi familia en este país, casi no hablamos con nadie. Entonces, cuando comencé la middle school, me fui sintiendo un poquito más apoyada porque comencé a hacer amistades. Tenía un maestro que era súper amoroso. Me decía, tranquila, Jessica, todo va a estar bien, échale ganas. Me enseñaba bastante inglés, me daba libros en inglés y en español para que aprendiera. Entonces, ha sido difícil para mí porque hoy en día ya no vivo con mi mamá, tuvimos problemas, entonces es un poco difícil, pero trato de salir adelante porque yo sé que puedo, me cueste lo que cueste, yo sé que puedo.
To be honest, personally, I have a very similar experience with Mustafa. My family, so it was really supportive when we came to the school. We had different groups, like Muslim groups, so we came and gathered. It felt like I belong here, I was included. So we had this, in International High School at Largo, we have a similar thing that we had in our middle school, where students from different countries, they had different groups for each immigrants. Like for example, from Afghanistan, there were students, Muslim groups. So it felt I felt included. So it felt supportive. And the challenging part was my religion, the way I dressed up. I didn't experience like a bad. I didn't experience that much hate, but my peers, they always got comment, do you take shower with this? Are you bald? So it was really discouraging when I was seeing them in that position. But eventually they got used to it and people got to know them. There is always hate in there, but my family is very family oriented, and we practice religion so in our family a lot, so it's our first priority, and so I felt confident, and yeah.
Medina, if you could give one or two big pieces of advice to PGCPS staff to support students new to the United States, what would you say?
As I said before, that I felt included in my middle school and high school by having different groups, like Muslim groups that came together and discussed their issues and what they're struggling with. So I would advise the PGCPS staff to have different groups and different schools to so they can come and gather together, because there are some issues that it can be solved as generally. So if you sit with a different group and talk about their struggles being here, and you guys can figure it out, so the immigrants will feel included in here. And my second piece of advice will be, if the teachers regularly contact parents about the students, about their education and behavior, it will have a bigger impact on the students.
Thank you for that. Jessica, si pudiera dar uno o dos grandes consejos al personal de PGCPS para apoyar a los estudiantes nuevos en los Estados Unidos, ¿qué les diría?
Les diría que como somos nuevos, ¿verdad? Tal vez tener grupos para apoyo emocional, que nos hagan sentir amados, que estamos bien. Como reunir a los estudiantes que son nuevos, hacer grupos 2 veces a la semana por lo menos, hablar sobre cómo ha sido el viaje, cómo se siente uno emocionalmente y dar ese apoyo y hacerlos sentir amados por este país, que están bien, que están en casa.
I would like to add on to what Medina said about making the students be included in things, because that will make them feel important in doing things like sports, music, dance, whatever it is. And also the being supportive. That's one of the major things to make sure that a student becomes a success in life, because we all have our down moments. We all have that point in life that we want to give up, especially when you're coming to a different country. And also the language barrier. That's one of the major things I've noticed in this school, is because it's like we have a lot of students that speak Spanish, and sometimes they try to speak English, but if the teachers or the students are not being supportive, they would give up. They'll be like, I can't do this. So they'll keep speaking more Spanish than English. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
Reconozco todo el trabajo que están haciendo todos los del staff de PCPS y sí, están haciendo muy buen trabajo, pero me gustaría que agregaran un poco más, como de acuerdo con lo que dijeron mis compañeros, que necesitamos un poco más de hacernos sentir esa confianza, recibir una educación que en mi país se llamaba la clase moral y cívica, que era una clase donde nos reuníamos todos los estudiantes no a escribir ni a contestar preguntas así como de alguna materia, sino que hablar más de lo interior, de lo que nosotros habíamos vivido día con día, de nuestras experiencias y de algunas cosas que quisiéramos compartir. Y yo he leído de un libro que nosotros los seres humanos necesitamos mejorar 4 inteligencias, que son, número 1, inteligencia emocional, inteligencia espiritual, inteligencia física e inteligencia financiera, para estar establemente para toda una vida. Y entonces creo que sí necesitaríamos un poco más de apoyo para todo eso, porque acá vienen muchos talentos, vienen muchos futbolistas, muchas personas con talentos de cantar o de bailar o de tocar algún instrumento, y entonces creo que si no se les da ese apoyo, esos talentos mueren y lo único, como se dice una frase, que el lugar más rico en el mundo es el cementerio, porque muchas personas mueren con esas ideas y por falta ya sea de recursos, de herramientas o de apoyo, no las sacan a la luz y entonces mueren en sus mentes. Y sí, agradezco todo el trabajo que están haciendo todo el staff de PCPS, pero me gustaría que también mejoraran esa parte.
Gracias, Geraldo.
So one of the advice I would give BGCPS staff is, first of all, I agree with my peers Medina and Gift, and I couldn't understand Hispanic, right? But I agree with them with their ideas, right? In addition to that, I would like to add that they should support the student even if the student never asked, because as an experience as me, right? When I first came here and even in middle school, even till 9th grade, right, till I understood the idea of school in here in the US. Because it's very different when I understood it. It's very different than what I used to have in Jordan, for example, right? So even if the student never asked a question or never tried to understand something, the teacher should ask them if they want help. Should go up to them, not wait till the student asks or raise their hands, right? Because that's very important, as I've seen in this 4 years of my high school, in the international high school at Largo, that any student that comes new to the US, they would never ask for help. They would never ask any teacher to help them or support them in any kind of ways. So I would advise, right, that even if this student didn't come up to you, you go to them and ask them if they need help, if they need support, with the language or any other barrier that might be between the student and the teacher. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Since you already have the mic, I'll ask you the next question. What is something from your cultural background that is important to you?
Okay, so one thing that's important to me from my cultural background is the family. In my culture, family is valued a lot. as not in the same as the US, right? Where when you get to 18, you leave your family and you just leave them alone. You can go to your college, live your life in your own home or anything as that, right? In my culture, it's known that I stay with my family no matter what happens, no matter how old I am, no matter how many times I get married, like where I'm going, no matter what, right? I'm always with my family. That's like the most important thing in my culture, which I never and I would never lose, because my family is me. Like me leaving my family is me getting out of my skin, and that's like impossible, right? So yeah, I would say that that's the most important thing. Think.
Thank you. Geraldo, ¿qué es algo de tu origen cultural que es importante para ti?
Algo muy importante para mí es nunca olvidar de dónde vengo. Y creo que algo que tenemos mucho nosotros los latinos, nosotros los inmigrantes, es que somos bastante trabajadores. Es cierto que hay algunos que sí se han escuchado en las noticias y por todos esos medios, que nosotros los latinos, los inmigrantes que venimos de otros países, venimos acá a Estados Unidos a arruinar este país. En cuanto yo creo que no es así, yo creo que habemos muchos latinos, muchas personas de otros países que venimos acá a trabajar y creo que eso ha contribuido mucho para el crecimiento de los Estados Unidos. Y entonces yo siento que eso para mí es como una cultura, el ser trabajador y el recordar siempre de dónde venimos, porque sin importar hasta dónde nosotros lleguemos, porque yo aún creo en mí, soy consciente de que no soy ni el 0.01% de lo que seré dentro de 10 años. Y entonces siempre creo que eso es algo que tenemos siempre que recordar siempre nuestras raíces, saber nuestro valor, saber que estemos donde estemos, nosotros tenemos un alto valor como cualquier otra persona, todos somos iguales y nada más eso, siempre seguir luchando y trabajando para seguir adelante por el bien de nuestra familia y por el bien de todas las personas que nos rodean.
Gracias, Geraldo.
Thank you.
I would like to add on to what Mustafa said about family, because that's one of the major things that is very important in my culture, and also having pride in what I have, because there are kids out there that don't have the privilege that I have. They don't have the privilege of free food, free education, and I can't just put that to waste because they're over there suffering. And so yeah.
Thank you.
Yo concuerdo con lo que dijo mi compañero Gerardo. La familia para mí es lo más importante que puede tener mi país. Las culturas de mi país son hermosas. Yo amo mi país y puedo decir que estoy orgullosa de ser de donde soy y nunca voy a olvidar de dónde vengo.
For me, I agree with Gift and Mustafa. My culture is very family oriented. My family is very supportive and I respect their decisions. So a family plays a huge role in our culture and the religion, which is Islam. So we as family and our culture support family and religion mostly and give the highest priority to.
Thank you, thank you. So, Medina, I'm going to ask you, since you currently have the mic, I'm going to ask the last question, and that's, what hopes do you have for your future?
My goal is to obtain a PhD degree and serve the people and my community in the future.
What would you like to study?
I would like to become a teacher, and beside that, I would like to study Islamic studies. Yeah.
Thank you. Jessica, ¿qué esperanzas tienes para tu futuro?
Pues para mi futuro me gustaría estudiar asistente médico, pero también me gustaría sacar mi carrera de maquillaje. Son dos cosas que me gustaría hacer y espero poder hacerlo. Confío en Dios que lo voy a hacer, me cueste lo que me cueste, pero lo voy a hacer y me veo ahí.
There's a lot of things I want to do in the future, but the two major things I want to mostly do is be an IT person and also be able to support kids that come out of the country because they need that support. Because they come from, like, some of them, they have to leave the country because of war, some of them because of abuse, some of them because of other things. So sometimes they need that support.
En mi futuro, de acá a unos 5 años, yo personalmente me veo como una persona con un crecimiento personal muy altísimo, totalmente diferente a la persona que soy ahora. Y con una mentalidad totalmente diferente. Y mis expectativas para el futuro es estudiar negocios. A mí me interesa mucho sobre cómo trabajan todos los negocios, cómo administrarlos y todo eso. Y ya llevo, creo que aproximadamente un año leyendo libros, buscando información en internet, pagando cursos y aprendiendo más cosas sobre eso. Entonces ya voy teniendo una base bastante sólida sobre cómo voy a formar lo que quiero. Y uno también de mis anhelos es no solamente lograr bastantes cosas, alcanzar varios sueños bastante grandes, sino que también es servirle como de ejemplo a más personas como yo, por ejemplo, a más jóvenes, ya sea de 15, de 16, de 18 años, que es la etapa cuando uno tiene que ya tener definido qué es lo que quiere para un futuro. Entonces, eso creo que es uno de mis propósitos de vida, servir como inspiración a las demás personas, demostrar que en este mundo todo es posible y que hasta el sueño más grande o más tonto que parezca, se puede alcanzar, y esa es una de mis metas, uno de mis anhelos, demostrar que no importa dónde sea, no importa las condiciones en las que uno se encuentre, sino que trabajar con lo que tenga y el momento que sea, porque el éxito creo que es cuando la oportunidad y el trabajo se encuentran, no es cuando uno logra ya lo que quiere, el objetivo, sino es el trabajo de día a día y en la persona que uno se va convirtiendo con todo ese trabajo y experiencia que va obteniendo.
Gracias, Gerardo.
So before I answer that question, I want to add to the previous question to also what Medina said, right? That other than my family, as I've said, religion too is like very, very important in my culture. So yeah, that's what I want to add. And for the last question, what hopes do I have for the future? I hope for a future which will be full with pride, with full with happiness. I hope for a future where I can live the life I've always dreamed of. I hope for a future where I can be one of those celebrities as I've always dreamed, right? I hope for a future where I can give my kids what my parents gave me. I really want a future where I can do what I want with no limits. And yeah, thank you. That's it.
So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. And as I was listening to you answer the questions, I had a couple of takeaways from this. And I'm just going to share maybe about 3 that I picked up. And one was support. You, as students coming in from other countries, are asking for all possible supports. Being included in the day-to-day in school, sports, in your classroom and activities. I picked up that it would be nice for your teachers to get to know you, right? Get to know their students and understand their backgrounds, their culture, in order to be better supportive of you as students. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, you are all smart young men and women. You're brave, you're resilient. You have a wonderful head on your shoulders, and in this school I can see that you have amazing supports. So I just want to say thank you for your journeys. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for speaking to our PGCPS staff on your recommendations and suggestions for you and for the rest of the students and future students coming in from other countries. And so if you have any last things to say, Jessica and Geraldo, we know that it's easier for you to speak in Spanish, but if you can say your closing remarks in English, that would be wonderful. How about if we start with you, Mustafa? You have the mic.
So I want to say also thank you to you guys for giving us this opportunity to speak, right, to BGCPS staff. I want to thank our school, International High School at Largo, for great opportunities that they give us also. The opportunities of having, as Medina said, right, being in groups so we can feel more that we belong here. Also, I want to thank, like special thanks, seriously, to Miss Ballinger of her big support to me personally, because me personally, she has supported me from as soon as like I got into here, and from 9th grade till like today. She have showed me a lot of support, not to only me but also like others as my friends and other colleagues, right? So I want to give her a special thank. And again, thank you BGCBS TV for giving us this opportunity to speak in here.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone, to all the staff of the school, to Miss Ballinger, to everyone, to my each partner, because everyone is to support me, and I'm not sure if this conversation is going to show just for the teacher, but if you show to the student too, I would like to be really happy, because maybe this conversation can open the mindset of each student, and maybe they take her dream and maybe they can do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you, like what they both said, because without you guys, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have gotten what you guys' perspective of how things are done, because I've been told different things from online about how Muslim people are like this, how Hispanic people are like this, but to get from you guys' opinion on how this is how we do this is how we do that, I just want to say thank you, because it changes how I see you guys.
Thank you.
I would just want to say thank you to you guys for hearing our stories. I want to say thank you to Ms. Ballinger too, because you're the best for me. You know that you're the best person for me. Just I feel support for you. And I can say to the students too, they can hear these stories. They can feel open to speak too. And thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing us so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here. To be honest, like hearing all the stories that we are so close to one another, but we don't usually share our personal experience. Hearing them, it feels like we belong here. And IHSL International High School at Largo, it doesn't feel like it's just only a school. It feels like we're a family from different background, but at the end of the day, we share same values. We talked about our family, religion. We share a lot of similarities. So I think we should focus on the same thing we have among each other than the differences, and that's where we all meet each other and share the love and the spread of positivity. And I would like to thank Ms. Ballinger. Thank you so much. I really appreciate whatever you're doing, and especially supporting us Muslims. I heard that whenever we are there's like schedule going on the beginning of the school year, she tried to put students in each classes that they can support one another, not only for Muslims but for Hispanics as well. That's not her job, but she does it from the bottom of her heart to help us, to serve us, to feel as that we are supported. And I would like to thank Dr. Grant. I thank you so much. He's not only my teacher. I feel so supportive whenever I need help, whenever I'm struggling, whenever I need a personal advice, I go up to him, I ask him. So thank you so much, and thank you for you guys for having us here and hearing our stories. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lastly, I just want to say to all of you, you can be whoever you want to be. It is in you to be the person you want to be, to grow up to be whatever it is you want to be. And I'm wishing you all a successful school year. Thank you. Thank you so much.